the happy ending that I want. So I had to write a new happy ending and make some choices to decide what kind of person I want to be, what kind of life I want to live. But before I could do that, I had to learn some very important skills that are not taught to us in our society and our culture. We have a lot of misunderstandings around why bad things happen and how we should handle them, and it's very easy to fall into that victim mentality of this just happened to me. I didn't do anything. And in many respects it did just happen to me, and it happened to my daughters and to my husband and to my family. But we all had a choice to say, okay, we choose life. We're going to figure out how to move forward and not let this take the wind out of our sails permanently. And it did for a time, and we all have a right to that season. We all have a right to that grieving season of healing, of protection, of finding support, finding a safe place to just recover. There are things that knock us down so hard, there is no getting back up, at least not right away. And that's okay. That's why building a community is so important. But that community needs to be educated on what it means to heal from grief, because more often than not, that community does more harm than good. And so when people find themselves in a community that is not supportive, I can provide them with the tools that they have the ability to help themselves, even if no one else is helping them. Like, we do not have to just be the victims and leave it up to chance. We can choose healing daily, and I help them create that action plan of what that looks like and then how to implement it in their life, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day.
Okay, so we're up against the clock. I want to make sure we talk about Teamotions here. And I just got to say to you, Rachel, I'm very impressed with your strength, okay, and the fact that you have allowed the legacy of your twins to live on alongside of you, because that's what drives you to do this. So I just want to say my hat's off to you for having that strength. It's very hard for people to do. Now, we're up against the clock, so I want to talk real quickly about Teamotions. It's a tea plus herbs, and, the holistic world has gotten to be a lot more recognized nowadays, so it's not a hard stretch that it would have been 10, 15 years ago to understand how this tea could work. But could you explain that a little bit?
Sure. We use adaptogen herbs in all of our blends, which adaptogen herbs are these really profound natural herbs that are incredibly scientifically studied, which is great because we have so much science to support them. But essentially what they do is they help your body restore balance in every body system. So they help, with emotions, they help with your organs, they help with boost immunity. They just sort of help put everything back into homeostasis. And so they're safe. They're effective. You don't have to worry about taking too much of them. They're just always restoring balance. So you're either, heading towards balance or maintaining balance, but you can never, take too much that you would be overbalanced. They even work with children. They're just amazing herbs. And so we blend them, all different kinds of adaptogens, into each of our tea blends so that each tea has a unique and specific emotional benefit. So when you drink our teas, you're getting a medicinal benefit through the adaptogen herbs, as well as an experience benefit, that sort of ritual of taking time out, checking in with yourself. And so it's kind of taking tea to the next level. And they're really delicious. All of my teas are award-winning flavor profiles, so they're as good or better than any tea you've ever had.
Now, can they buy them in a store? Is it just through a website?
We have a website, but what I also have is a business opportunity where I have brand ambassadors around the country that I train to teach the Teamotions tea tasting classes, and it's an educational class that teaches everything from, our mission of hope and healing and how each of the adaptogens work, what each blend does. And they teach these classes and sell tea that way and earn commissions off their sales. So we're growing that around the country, and that's the best way to find our tea. So you can jump on our website and order it if you don't have a brand ambassador around, but it's great to find a brand ambassador and get to taste and learn before you even buy.
And can people contact you directly to learn more about that opportunity as well?
Yes, they can jump on our website and click on the Join Us Now page. There's an email there, or just find me at rachel@teamotionstea.com. That will come directly to my inbox.
Well, very good. Rachel, I'm going to make sure to have you invited back on the show. There's a lot that we didn't even get to cover. We just touched the surface. what you're doing is incredible. I like I mentioned before, the strength you have to keep moving forward, to carry that legacy to another level, so it's not been forgotten. It's just been put to good use. And we're going to make sure to get you back on the show. I really wish you the best of luck and hope that you will come back and join us some more.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to come back with my next guest, and her name is Alice Sullivan. And Alice, well, we're going to shift directions a little bit here. Alice is she's an author. She has a company called Alice Sullivan and .com. You can find the information out. But she does magazines, book publishing, online marketing. She's a ghostwriter. She does a lot of things with writing. And if you follow my show, you know that I'm very big about making sure that people get their message out. Take them journals, take those articles, take something that's happened in your life, and share it with others. And you can do it in a book today, so much easier than before. We're going to learn more about that from Alice here when we come back. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Listen to The Legal Eagle and The Coach each Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m. on Tough Talk Radio Network. Leading local and national experts in business will share their keys to success so that our listening audience can be educated and entertained along the way to becoming all they can be. So whether you're new to business or highly experienced, The Legal Eagle and The Coach with hosts David Alterburn and Brian Kaiser is a great radio program for you. For more information, go to legaleagleandthecoachradio.com.
Live at Choice, where your imagination becomes your reality. If you can imagine it, it's possible. If you can believe it, it's yours. We get it. You're done with the way it is now. You're finished with all the frustration around why you feel stuck and your life isn't working. Imagine what your life would be like if you could have all the answers and see new possibilities. We at Live at Choice choose to make a difference. Live at Choice has developed a proven process and a series of questions that lead participants to the answers they seek, gaining new understanding and self-awareness for both your personal and professional life. If you're ready to get to the life you want, contact us today. Visit liveatchoice.com to get started.
Okay, welcome back to Workshop Wednesdays. Great interview with Rachel Crawford out of California. Find out more about her by going to Teamotions.Teamotions.com. So it's T-E-A, the word motion with an S, T-E-A.com, and just learn more. You can go to our Facebook page, Tough Talk Radio, on Facebook, and find it as well. So my next guest is someone that has worked with a lot of well-known people: Dave Ramsey, Michael Hyatt, Bill Cosby, George Foreman. The list goes on. And she has worked in the book publishing industry, for almost since 2001. So let's welcome Alice to the show. Welcome to the show, Alice.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. Now, I look at this, and, I'm getting ready to release our third book here. And when I see people like yourself come on the show, I get excited because I'm always telling everyone that they need to tell their story to somebody, and even if it's on a bunch of napkins, get it together and go see someone to help them put it into a book. So having you here today is going to be able to support what I'm saying. Before we get started, tell everyone where you're calling in from, where you're from originally.
I am calling from Nashville, and I was born and raised here, so Nashville native.
All right, very good. So, in 2001, you got in the book business, so to speak. What took you to that path? Were you a reader when you were younger? Were you a writer? What took you into that industry?
I was always an avid reader as a child. I entered into every reading contest the library had every summer. I was writing letters to the editor when I was probably 6, 7, 8 years old. But to be honest, I never planned to be a writer. When I went to college, I went to play sports. I had no intentions of working in the book publishing business. So when I graduated, I still had no idea what I wanted to do. I had helped tutor people in all of my English classes, but it just never clicked. So I took an internship at Country Music Television in 2001 because it was local and because it was easy. So I started writing for the website, and then I wrote for the magazine, and then I got hired by Thomas Nelson Publishers to help with 2 different books, and that was 14 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. Turns out I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, who would have known, right? I mean,
right.
What sport did you go to play in college?
I went for both soccer and tennis, so I was a dual sport athlete.
Yeah, very good, very good. So who would have thought going into college that this is where you would have ended up? I talked to a lot of people, my own children, in fact. The youngest is now in college. The other 2 have gone through it. And it's hard because when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 30, I mean, sometimes it takes us forever to figure out what we want to do in life, and sometimes we're blessed enough to be able to just be placed there. So
yeah, I think it made a difference that I was encouraged in my gifts. It was always something that came naturally, and you know, for a long time, for many years, I guess I think that I took the easiest route. You know, like I'm lazy, or this was just the easiest. But it's your natural gifting, so that's why it was so easy for me. So I'm glad that I've been on this path for so long.
Yeah, and it's always good to know where you're heading in life. Sometimes it might not be the complete end of your journey, but it's good to recognize that when you are where you are, that the reasons why you're there and that you like it. Because there's a lot of people out there doing what they do and they hate it every day. So, Tony Geary, the results guy, I read his stuff. And when I came to your website, AliceSullivan.com, I was really impressed when I seen the testimony that he wrote for you.
Oh, yes. He's a wonderful guy. I've learned so much from him.
Well, one of the things I'm always telling people, I run radio shows. I train people how to do radio, and I'm always telling people that when you can get to meet the big-time player, the thought leaders in the industry, those guys that are at the top, it's really cool. But a lot of us just think about it, and the people that actually do realize that Tony Geary is just an everyday guy, just like everybody else, but he's so big in the lights. Doing what you do has allowed you to get connected to all these types of people. Has that helped increase your business?
It has. It absolutely has. I have still to this day not done much marketing at all, and all of my business comes from word of mouth and networking. So it absolutely does help, that I can say I've worked with very high-profile people. That gives me a lot more credibility than someone who's perhaps just starting out in the industry.
Yeah, and so when someone goes to your website, this is another point I make to people all the time, and right on the front of your website it has testimonials, and it's right there, and you can go to a whole list of them. That's the credibility that people want to see, because, look, everybody's going to spend their money one place or another. What they're looking for is the reason why they should spend the money with you. Now, I'm not saying anything against your ability, but when you have people on your testimonial list that are well recognized, they're just coming to you. You don't have to search for them, like you said. It's probably the best marketing tool you could come up with.
It really is. And Michael Hyatt is another one. I'm so grateful to him. Several years ago, I worked with him on a project, and he mentioned my name on his website during one of his blogs, and I still get contacted from that, and that's probably been 3 or 4 years ago. But, he gets so much traffic that people continuously find those posts, and that's wonderful marketing for me. Yeah,
and that's what I say to a lot of people all the time about. I've been doing radio over 6 years now, and I've interviewed, the Bob Bergs, the Jack Canfields, people that are well known in the industries that I'm involved in, and it's allowed me to pick up the phone and call them or shoot them an email and have them actually respond to you. So it's really good because as time goes on, Michael Hyatt, who's just getting bigger and bigger every day, I mean, I watch his webinars. I'm a big fan of his as it is. So when I seen that and Tony Geary, I'm like, okay,